'cause I'm a bad, 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 bad bitch.
What's up, everyone? This is another episode of For the People in the Back podcast. I'm your host, Phoenix Diva, or you can call me Diva, and this is a podcast for the people who can never afford the first row but always the standing section in the back. You are appreciated. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. It is Labor Day weekend. I'm starting late today. I got into a Twitter fight with a bunch of idiots who can't fucking read, so there's that. But that's Twitter for you. You don't clearly have to do an IQ test to make an account. You don't have to have an IQ test to respond to tweets. You don't have to, you could just go on Twitter. So anyone has the ability to go on Twitter and be idiots, and unfortunately, we, the world, are exposed to them because freedom of speech, baby, which you are allowed to be idiots, to be clear. I'm not saying that you're not allowed to be an idiot. You are completely allowed to. And what I just said, you could take that as in the form of things that happen in life. You know, you can't control what people say to you. You know what I mean? You can't control what people say to you. You can't control how people react to you. You can't control. The only thing you can control is your response. So let's get on with this episode. So this episode is going to be a little bit heavy. It's going to be heavy. So trigger warning. Trigger warning. Not kidding. So if you watch my streams, I did mention that I was going to talk about this. I did not want to talk about this on my stream due to how serious these allegations and accusations are. Like, this is very fucking serious shit. And we're going to read this article that's going to talk about it today. And the article will be in the description. And the title of the article is Comedians Tiffany Haddish and Aries accused of child sexual abuse.
Oh, hell no!
Now, Tiffany Haddish, if you don't know who she is, to me, she blew up when she did the movie Girls Trip. And ever since then, she wrote a book, and I think she does a comedy tour. And I think she's done other things too. I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you guys. I'm not biased, but I will say that I'm not a huge Tiffany Haddish fan. I've never been one. So I just want to put that out there. So if people think that I'm saying this or whatever comments I make, I don't want y'all to think, oh, you're only saying this because you like her. No, it's not that I dislike her. It's just that her type of comedy isn't my type of comedy, and I've seen clips and things like that. It just doesn't make me LOL.
Clap if you understand what I'm saying.
Now, the second comedian, Aries, I believe they're on Mad TV. They're very well known for doing impressions and stuff. I do know that they do tours and things like that. They do a lot of interviews, so you'll see them a lot on YouTube doing interviews and stuff. But he's also a comedian also. Let's just get right into it. A Jane Doe and her younger brother allege in a new lawsuit that the comics recruited them into performing inappropriate sexual suggestive acts in sketches when they were minors. During their childhoods, Jane Doe and her younger brother say they called Tiffany Haddish Auntie Tiff. The comedian had met their mother through the comedy circuit and used to refer to the siblings as her niece and nephew. But in a lawsuit filed pro se on Monday night, in which Jane is an anonymous plaintiff on behalf of both herself and her brother, who is a minor, the siblings allege that Haddish and her fellow comic, Aries recruited each of them to perform inappropriate acts on camera when they were children. It's really unfortunate when you hear stories like this, and the people that speak out, the victims that speak out, they always say that they refer to these people as somewhat of a family member, even though they're not related, but you can kind of tell that there was a trust there. For someone to be like, oh, I consider this person my aunt, and Tiffany Haddish used to call me their niece and nephew, it hurts even worse. You know what I mean? Because I know for me, there's been people that aren't related to me that I call them aunt or uncle because we're so close and our families are so close, or they're really good friends with one of my family members. So it's just really disheartening. Jane Doe, now 22, and her younger brother John, now 15, have adopted synonyms synonyms due to their respective ages at the time of the allegation. Jane, who is also John's legal guardian, is the plaintiff in the lawsuit both individually and on her minor brother's behalf. The siblings' complaint, which names Haddish and Mad TV alum Spears as defendants, centers on 2 alleged incidents in which Haddish and Spears allegedly encouraged one of the siblings to perform sexually suggestive acts on camera while underage. Representatives for Spears and Haddish did not respond to the Daily Beast's request for comment. Now, for people that don't know, when you write an expose or an article like this, you do let the people that are subjects to the article saying like, hey, by the way, I have this article coming out. These are the allegations. Would you like to say anything? Do you have any comments? And then most of the time they'll say, I don't have any comments. Or you'll hear some generic shit saying like, this is bullshit. Jane was 14 years old when her alleged video shoot took place, and John was 7. Their mother alleges that she and Haddish met through comedy and bonded over a shared source of strife. We were both going through a divorce, the mother told the Daily Beast. Messy, messy, messy divorces. We just got really, really super close. According to the lawsuit, Haddish called the family for every birthday and every Christmas. The siblings' mother noted that for years, Haddish reliably checked in, whether that be from a movie set or overseas. In the summer of 2013, when Jane was 14 years old, the lawsuit states that she attended a comedy camp where Haddish appeared as a guest speaker. Around that time, Haddish allegedly told the child that she found a perfect role for her very own commercial. Neither Jane nor her mother knew what the shoot would entail. According to the lawsuit, only Haddish and Spears, who was also on hand to produce the video, are said to have known the plot. Now, for people that might be critical of it, saying like, well, why didn't they ask for details? Again, this is a family friend. They're calling her Aunt Tiffany. Tiffany's calling them their niece and nephews. Like, I can understand if someone's like, hey, I have this opportunity for you, and you trust them enough to be like, okay, sure, like, count me in. Because you know, you have faith that they're not a shit person, right? Again, these are all allegations. I'm just reacting and giving my opinion based on the article. The clip Spears and Haddish asked Jane to watch in the recording booth allegedly seemed innocuous at first. If a little strange, a group of co-eds were arguing over a Subway sandwich, but then the co-eds began eating the sandwich in a suggestive manner from opposite ends, moaning and making sexual noises as they both ate the sandwich in a manner that simulated the act of fellatio, per the lawsuit.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
The complaint claims that Spears told Jane to mimic what she has seen on the screen, including the noises precisely like what she heard throughout the video. The 14-year-old, who was allegedly nervous and disgusted, fell silent until Haddish returned to the room, the lawsuit claims. Dude, like, this is not even like, oh, I made a mistake, this is stupid, things like that. Like, we gotta stop this shit.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.
Like, stop having kids do sexual shit. Like, just fucking stop. Like, that's why I can understand Euphoria having criticism saying like, oh, they're showing high schoolers doing very sexual things on this television show, but everyone that's on the show, none of them are minors. All of them are, I think, like, all of them are above 18. They're all adults, right? There's some people in the cast that are in their 30s, okay? So no one is, like, actually fucking 14, 13 years old, doing explicit scenes on a fucking television show. Like, they always hire someone older, right? They never hired, like, the actual age. That's why they hire people that could possibly be like, you know what, they look like they could be that age, right? Like, they're not gonna hire someone that's like in their 30s that looks like they're fucking 30. They're gonna hire somebody that's in their 30s that it could be believable that they could look like a high school student, right? And do these scenes and it being appropriate, right? Because it's adults doing sexual acts. So why the fuck did you get a fucking 14-year-old and a goddamn 7-year-old to moan on a goddamn Subway sandwich? And also, at this point, I have yet to see the humor in this. I have yet to see the joke. I don't see how it's fucking funny for fucking minors to eat a fucking Subway sandwich in a disgusting way like that. I don't see the fucking joke. Like, maybe we need more context, but like, either way, this is just all sorts of inappropriate. Haddish verbally explained what was expected of plaintiff Jane Doe and then showed plaintiff Jane Doe how to give fellatio, including movements, noises, moaning, and groaning.
Okay, now wait just 1 second, glasses.
The lawsuit states. At that point, Jane told the Daily Beast, I knew 100% what they wanted out of me. The lawsuit describes Spears allegedly looked on while a physically, emotionally, and mentally uncomfortable Jane received this instruction. I tried to mimic what they wanted me to mimic, but it still came out just super uncomfortable, Jane told the Daily Beast. I knew when I left the booth and I didn't complete what they wanted me to do. Haddish paid Jane $100, the lawsuit claims, before sending her home. At the time, Jane said she tried to shrug off what happened. I didn't confide in my mom. I didn't confide in nobody else about how weird I felt at that moment, she said. A year later, Haddish allegedly approached the children's mother with a similar pitch, recruiting Jane's little brother, John, for another video. Although the comedian allegedly told the family John would be filming a sizzle reel for Nickelodeon, the suit alleges the 7-year-old wound up staring in a video posted on Funny or Die and other online platforms titled Through a Pedophile's Eyes.
Oh, hell no!
Whoa! Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Now, Nickelodeon is getting a lot of shit right now, which that's another podcast for another day. But holy shit. So you told them, allegedly you told them it was Nickelodeon, but it was for Funny or Die. And the title of this? Through a Pedophile's Eyes? Are you, what? Are you, like, what is wrong with people? Honestly. A representative for Funny or Die told the Daily Beast in a statement, Funny or Die found this video absolutely disgusting and would never produce such content. We were not involved with conceptualization, development, funding, or production of this video. It was uploaded to the site as user-generated content and was removed in 2018, immediately after becoming aware of its existence. So this video is real. This video is real. So what I just said, per Funny or Die, this is not an allegation. They literally filmed a minor for a Funny or Die sketch called Through a Pedophile's Eyes. Like, this is real. This is not an allegation. This is real. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Tiffany Haddish. What the fuck? What the fuck? Honestly, I say that with my whole chest. What the actual fuck? Now, this is not an allegation. This is not. Funny or Die is confirming that this video existed and they took it down. And they didn't even know, and they took it down when they found out the videos existed, and they had nothing to do with this fucking video. Are you, what? What the fuck? Both siblings allegedly attended the shoot, which the lawsuit claims took place in Spears' home. Jane said Haddish's behavior changed once the children arrived at the home, no longer in the company of their mother. It was like a whole 180 almost. She told the Daily Beast, Tiffany had never been mean to me, never raised her voice to me until this point. According to the lawsuit, the children were separated during the shoot. Jane recalls that Haddish told her to remain on a couch downstairs while her brother's shoot took place upstairs. The Daily Beast has reviewed a recording of the video in which Haddish plays the boy's guardian and leaves him with Spears, who plays a pedophile.
Oh, hell no!
Are you kidding me? Where is the joke? Especially since you're dealing with a minor. Now, if you really want to do this, it would still be disgusting to me, to be clear. But if it was like someone that wasn't actually a fucking 7-year-old, and you just had like an adult play a minor, it's still gross, right? It's still gross. But at least it's adults doing this scene, right? It's at least we can play it off as this is acting, right? This is acting. It's two adults acting in this disgusting sketch, right? 2 adults. Can we say this disgusting? Absolutely. You can have that opinion, or you can have the opinion that you think it's funny that 2 adults are acting in this scene. Either way, it's your prerogative. But for me personally, having a 7-year-old, ugh, disgusting. John spends most of the video clad only in his underwear as Spears' character leers at him through 2 holes cut into a newspaper he pretends to read. During the sketch, the camera zooms in suggestively on the 7-year-old's buttocks and crotch while he plays. Spears sprays baby oil onto the child's back and massages it into his shoulders in one scene, and at another point the child plays with a train in a manner that suggests a phallic masturbation.
Oh, hell no!
In another sequence, Spears smokes a cigarette while observing the child nude in a bathtub and pours water on his feet. By the time the video ends, the child is peering at his babysitter through a newspaper and rubbing baby oil on his shirtless shoulder. The final line of on-screen text reads, "Watch who you leave your kids with." Once filming ended, the lawsuit states Mr. Doe called his mother crying, saying he did not want to film anymore. Jesus. This is really bad, you guys. This is really bad. And this is supposed to be on Funny or Die? Like, I don't see how this is funny. I don't get the jokes. Like, to me, from what I'm reading here, and that's the only thing I can base my perspective on, is what I'm reading right here, to be clear. I don't see how any of this is funny, and I don't see how any of this is appropriate, and I don't see how they felt like it was okay to do these things to a minor without a parent present. The parents were not present. The mother was not present, okay? So after, like, this just doesn't make any sense. The mother trusted her friend with her children and trusted her that none of these things would happen to her child. This is betrayals of trust. This is just absolutely revolting.
Clap if you understand what I'm saying.
When her brother came downstairs, Jane recalled he was red in the face, crying his eyes out, just bawling out in tears, and I'm immediately scared because I don't know what happened to him. When that happened, the only thing I could feel was how I felt in my video with Tiffany, Jane added later. I didn't know at the time if anything happened with him like what had happened to me, but I just felt like something wasn't right with that moment. The sibling's mother was immediately alarmed when she received a phone call from her crying son, and the answers she allegedly received from Haddish did little to reassure her. She said something to the effect of, "I don't think acting is for him," the mother recalled, and I'm like, what the F you mean acting isn't for him? My son is crying. Like, what is going on? Yeah, I'm sorry if a minor doesn't like a strange man doing this shit to him. And regardless if you say it's acting or not, I'm sorry. It's not okay. It's not okay. I don't think that makes John a bad actor, or John not being able to have the ability to film, or John, or this business not being a good look for John, or John's not capable of having the strength to be in this business. I'm sorry, John shouldn't have to be able to do shit like this. John shouldn't have been asked to do some inappropriate shit like this. This is fucking disgusting, and this is gaslighting. Like, you can really go fuck yourself. Like, that is disgusting. The sibling's mother allegedly spent the next week contacting Spears and acting to see the footage of her son. Spears allegedly kept repeating that it had not yet been edited. Eventually, the lawsuit states that Spears claimed John has been so uncooperative that his footage had been deemed unusable and subsequently deleted. 4 years later, however, the gossip website Gossip published an article about Spears that described the sketch. It was then for the first time that John's mother said she became aware of what had actually been filmed. Okay, so they're saying here that there was a different publication that actually covered this happening. So now we have two separate sources, right? two separate documentations saying that this incident happened, right? This right here is not looking good. Again, I feel like with this scene with John, I feel like with this article, and we have two unrelated sources confirming that this shit did happen, that I feel comfortable to say that I believe this happened to John. I'm comfortable to say that because it just seems very, very weird to me that Funny or Die would lie. And I think it's weird to me that Gossip would lie about this happening. That's two unrelated sources confirming this incident happened. All the trauma, all the memories, all the anxiety and depression and guilt and shame and fear, I feel like all those emotions were triggered when this video situation came to a head, she said. To find out that she had violated such a sacred trust, I trust her with my children, and that is what pushed me over the edge. I agree with you. Both Jane and John continue to live with the trauma of what they endured, the lawsuit states. Jane allegedly struggles to trust people and has developed a social disorder that prevents socializing. She feels constant remorse knowing that she was only a few feet away when Spears was molesting her 7-year-old brother in the other room, according to the lawsuit. As Jane put it, I don't date guys, I don't have sex. I'm not your regular 22-year-old who's partying, having fun and hooking up and stuff. Her little brother, meanwhile, allegedly places band-aids over the cameras on all his electronics due to an ongoing fear of being watched and recorded. The lawsuit lists 8 causes of action. Spears and Haddish are both accused of intentional infliction of emotional distress, gross negligence, sexual battery, sexual harassment, and sexual abuse of a minor. Haddish is further accused of negligent supervision and failure to warn, breach of fiduciary duty, and constructive fraud. The lawsuit seeks general and special damages as well as any appropriate statutory damages. Jane took over as John's guardian around the end of 2019 or start of 2020 due to the cascading series of traumatic personal issues that impacted their mother's mental and physical health. She has also enrolled both herself and her brother in therapy, according to the lawsuit. Included in the complaint in a statement John wrote during his treatment, saying that the pedophile sketch fucked me up bad. I don't got no friends, the now teenager wrote. I don't trust nobody. I'm scared of adults. I refuse to be recorded or take pictures because I'm scared of weird-ass adults trying to do nasty stuff to me again. I spend all my time in my room and do not go anywhere because I don't trust anybody. John adds later, I had to kick and scream and cry, and Tiffany came and told me to let him touch me. When I kept crying, Tiffany got mad at me, told me to get dressed, and took me home. I remember her yelling at me in the car, telling me that I would never get on TV acting like that. Tiffany, Aries, this is not good. This is not good. Let's just humor this for a second. Let's just humor that, Tiffany, you never said that to him. Let's just humor that you never said that to his mother. Let's just humor all of this, that you didn't say any of those things. Let's just focus on what we know as the facts. The facts is that there was a video recorded of Aries Spears being inappropriate with a minor. And that it was submitted on YouTube, on Funny or Die. And Funny or Die had to take the initiative to take it down, because they didn't know that y'all were doing this and did not give y'all permission to do this either. Okay? According to Funny or Die, as soon as they found out that this happened, they took it down. So, we could say, we can argue that the rest of this can be bullshit, that you can't walk back from that. You cannot walk back from that. I don't give a fuck. I now know that they are fucked up for what they did to me, the 14-year-old statement concludes, and none of this is my fault. The siblings' mother negotiated a settlement in 2019, the lawsuit states, but that agreement allegedly does not bind Haddish, who the complaint alleges insinuated she wanted no part of the Spears settlement agreement via text, or the siblings who had no guardian, I can't pronounce that word, present to represent their interests as minors. In the settlement, so there was a lawsuit. There was a lawsuit in 2019, and Tiffany Haddish was going to throw Aries Spears under the bus. So that's making this again, these are allegations, but boy, this looks awful. Boy, this looks awful. Awful. In the settlement document, which the Daily Beast has reviewed, Spears denies the validity of the claims regarding the video's production and the distribution, but agrees to stop the distribution, exhibition, and further use of the video. The document names Spears, the siblings' mother, and Jane does not appear. The siblings' mother also filed a police report against Spears and Haddish in January 2020, but nothing apparently came of it. The Daily Beast has reviewed a copy of the report. For months, I used to sit in my closet and cry until I fell asleep, the mother said. I would literally wake up on the floor in my closet because I didn't want the kids to hear me crying. She also attempted suicide at one point, she said, but was interrupted when her son asked her for help making breakfast. I wanted Tiffany to see the error of her ways. I wanted her to do the right thing as far as helping with the therapy and with the kids and stuff, but the way she just got real Hollywood on us, the mother said. This was not the same friend that had been a friend to me. In that moment, Jane said, it became clear to the family that all we really got is each other, and the common goal is to make sure that John is okay. The family has since made it their mission to heal together, in part through family therapy sessions, addressing everything, unpacking everything, and forgiving each other. For years, Jane has lived with regret of not being able to protect her younger brother. However unfair to her younger self that feeling might be, I felt like God knows what happened to him, and I wasn't there to protect him, she said. Now, however, things are different. You know what? I completely understand that. You were unable, because you were 14 years old, you were unable to have the strength and the maturity to be like, no, you're not taking my brother in another room by themselves. I need to see what you're doing to my brother, because you were 14 and you were dealing with, and there was like, Tiffany was considered your aunt and your authority figure. And if the authority figures are saying, no, he's going to go in the room with Aries Spears and you can't go in there, I'm not, like, it's stupid to suggest that a 14-year-old is supposed to be like, no, fuck you. Even though you're my Aunt Tiffany, fuck you. I'm going to go see what the fuck's happening to my brother. She didn't have that mental capacity or the maturity to have that strength. So, yes, in my mind, I can understand her being 22 years old now. She couldn't help her brother before, and now she's going to now. Now she's going to be the older sister that she needs to be, and she's going to protect her brother now that she has the maturity and the mental capabilities to do so. So cheers for her, honestly. As an adult, I have the power to protect my little brother now and have the power to do something about what happened to him, Jane said. And that's what my goal is to get done. Just to show my little brother that, hey, I'm sorry I wasn't able to protect you and be there for you then. But this is how I'm showing up for you now. While Haddish did not respond to requests for comment for days prior to the story running, following the publication of the story, Andrew Bretler, an attorney representing Haddish, issued a statement on her behalf saying that the plaintiff's mother has been trying to assert these bogus claims against Ms. Haddish for several years. Now the mother has her adult daughter representing herself in this lawsuit. Two of them will together face the consequences of pursuing this frivolous action. And that's the end of the article. Oh, my. My. I'm absolutely disgusted. How you guys want to respond to this article, that's up to you guys. But I will say that I'm not comfortable in supporting Tiffany Haddish or Aries Spears at this moment. Y'all can do what you want. Y'all can continue to support people. Because at the end of the day, I do understand the concept of you could separate the art from the artist. And I do absolutely agree with that concept. And I think that we all do it unknowingly. I think regarding, Harvey Weinstein, he produced a lot of movies that we all love. And it would be extremely difficult to be like, oh, I'm not going to watch this movie because Harvey Weinstein's name is in the credits or his company's name is in the credits. And that is like a difficult task, you know what I mean? And so I do agree with, you could separate the art from the artist, absolutely. But for me, and it might be because I'm not a huge Tiffany Haddish fan, I can say that it's not, you know, I'm just going to continue to do what I've been doing, which is like, not really, you know, support her on her projects, because I just don't like her content, you know, which I can have that opinion. And with Aries Spears, I did like some of your content. I did think some of your impressions were funny, but like, my guy, this is just wrong and creepy on so many different fucking levels. Like, holy shit, my guy, this is not good. This isn't good at all. So, we're going to follow this story. If anything else happens, we'll follow it. But I think this is a great place for us to stop the podcast at. So I hope you guys have a great Labor Day weekend, and, you know, just take care of yourselves. Know that at the end of the day that, you know, God, you guys, I'm just fucking speechless. I don't even know how to finish this podcast, because I'm just, man, I gotta edit this podcast, but I really want to take a shower because this was absolutely filthy. Holy shit. Okay, you guys, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.